I want to make people feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I've noticed that about myself is when I come off that way, some people might be like, oh, that might be too strong of energy or whatever. But it's like, no, I want this person to feel like, okay, I can let my guard down. Like, this is a person I can trust.
Yes.
Right. And I think,
I struggle with that part.
yeah, you do.
Okay, I really struggle with that part because
part?
the part of I want people to feel like I'm someone they can trust, because I grew up in a really, I grew up in the same school from kindergarten to 12th grade. It was really small, 28 kids in my graduating class.
Oh,
so
that's
I've
tiny.
had friends my whole life that I grew up with. And so making friends for me has always been difficult because I don't know that kind of that like, courting phase, I guess, of friends. And so sometimes I feel like I jump into the, you can trust me and like you could tell me everything and da-da-da-da-da so fast that other people I feel like aren't used to that. And then I get insecure that I allowed the trust to be there too fast, if that makes sense.
Sure, but I think it's
I think
more
that's in my
about
head. I
yeah,
think
it's
that's
in
in
your
my
head.
head.
I
Yeah.
think it's more about just an energy you show up as. I've always been a very obviously big presence and energy. I don't think you need to be loud to embody this, but it was a shift in me where I was like, oh, when I walk into a room, your instinct might be like, okay, let's make everyone feel better. Like I wanted to, but actually by you showing up as your best self, you might think that's selfish, but it's the complete opposite.
God.
Yeah.
It's everyone else then is like, oh wait, I want that energy. Oh, okay. And then they match you and then you're the fucking star and you're the show.
Okay. But that's the difference between the two of us. Okay. You've always been able to walk into a room and change the energy for better or for worse. Always. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm someone who walks in and soothes the room.
That's fine, but
no, it's terrible for me. No, it's fucking terrible for me. No, it is.
That's
It's not
needed
good.
Different people in your
sometime.
life.
Yeah.
I can't have 10 friends like you.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
can't have 10 friends like you. Like you need everyone to brings
Yeah.
something different to the table. I think if I leave a friendship or a conversation, whatever, an interaction, and I feel good about it, like I think I showed up nicely. I listened. I provided some feedback. I was motivational. I love like being, like you're saying, like inspiring, motivational. Like I like doing that. Like, oh, you're starting a business. Why don't you do this? Tell me more. Like that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
If I think I've ticked all those boxes, that I'm good.
Yeah.
Like you tell people you like trust, and then you tell people, oh, you can trust me. You've ticked that box. Like if they don't want to trust you, no worries. That's on them. Like
Yeah.
I just think, I don't know. I'm so caught up because like, everyone says all the time like, oh, not everyone can like you. And I'm always like, why not?
I know.
I'm like,
It's
You're like,
so
wait, I'm a
hard. It's
delight.
so hard to deal with
I'm a
that.
delight.
Taylor.
True. Like sometimes people just don't gel with you. And then I'm always like I'm saying, like, what the fuck? Why? But then I meet people and I'm like, yeah, didn't vibe. But I don't hate you. I don't
No, it's-
dislike
yeah.
you. I just didn't vibe. So I think
Yeah.
it's the same.
I
you know?
really love that you have like criteria. If you leave a conversation or an interaction and you're like, did I get X, Y, and Z? Was I this way with this person? It's like a positive
Can we write
interaction.
down our
Which is,
criteria?
I want to write down
wanna
mine
write
because
down
I'm
my
thinking of
criteria.
mine even like now. But that's something so powerful where, because I find myself like leaving conversations and it's not as intentional or it's not, but
Yeah.
if I leave it, I'm like, oh no, that was successful because I showed up kindly. I was myself. My energy wasn't drained and I helped them.
And it also takes the pressure off of it's like what you can control versus you
Right.
can't control what they thought of it, how they
Exactly.
how they
But as
judged
long as
it.
you feel like you showed up
Yeah.
correctly. And like, I don't do it every conversation and I'm not
Right, of course, yeah.
waiting there in my head like, hang on, have I done this one? Have I done that one? But I think it's important to just have it in mind. A couple
Totally.
of months ago, this was like a bit of a wake up call to me, but also I feel like this person was potentially a little sensitive. So I was like at an event and it was really busy and I was on my way out and I'd said bye to like 10 people. I was trying to get out. I was like just so busy. And then I saw her and she's like, hey, how are you? And I was like, hey, oh my God, I'm exhausted. I'm on my way out. Like, good to see you. I thought it was fine. I left, didn't think about it again. She called me and I was like, hello. Like we're not very good friends. Like we barely have each other's numbers. So I was like thinking like, are you okay? Like,
Yeah.
so weird. She was like, are we good? Like you were pretty rude to me. You didn't really give me any time. And I was like, oh my God, like that is not me. I was like, I'm so sorry. Oh, I was literally just thinking about myself and trying to get out of there. So I'm so sorry that it came across like that. Like obviously that wasn't my intention, blah, blah, blah. and so like I'm saying, I feel as though maybe she took it a little more sensitively because I really was just leaving.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important to just show up. And then I was thinking about it, like, yeah, I probably didn't show up like the way I should have, even though, yeah, I was on my way out. But you should always have enough time for people.
Yeah.
I've also been in so many situations with people who are kind of like, hi, how are you? Oh my God. Okay, yeah. I've like looking around, they're busy, they got to go. And you always just feel like, what? You can't give me 2 fucking minutes?
Totally.
Like, I'm not important.
And they're looking for like the next best person to speak
and
to.
they've got to rush for some reason. Like, unless you actually leaving the door, or like, you know, your car's parked and like you got to whatever, you actually have to leave. I think it's so important to give people the time of day. And like, I hope that if someone comes up to me at Coachella and they tell me they like my earrings, and then next to them is Hailey Bieber being like, Pia, hi, for example, I'm going to wait and listen to the person that was speaking to me first, and always give everyone the correct time of day, you know.
Absolutely.
That's so important.
Everyone just wants to be treated like they matter.
Yeah.
Like they're valued, that you see them. Like it's just as simple as that. Like seriously. Like I've been having without getting into too many details, like just an issue or something that's come up with a friend, and I was like, I don't know how to show up for this person because I'm in such a good spot. They're struggling, and I'm like, I don't want that energy, but it's like I also want to be there for them. Like, what do I do? But I don't want to take on whatever. And my friend was like, when I'm in those situations, like I always think like, how would I want to be? How would I want to be treated? And it's like, yeah, if I was in her situation, I'd want to be checked on. I'd want me to give advice. I want to be there to listen. Like, I don't have to take on that energy or make it, you know, but I do have to be there for that person.
Yeah.
And like, and make sure they know they matter, you know?
I think that's it. And maybe they're like, I don't want to be checked on because it's annoying. It makes me feel like you're reminding me that I'm in this place.
Right.
But I want this. And like, maybe that's a conversation. But I think just making sure that people know they matter is so important.
Yeah, what that girl did is actually, I mean, maybe she needs different things out of friends, or maybe you said that she was being sensitive, but I was like, damn, girl, like she fucking called you.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
that is so amazing because
Right?
I wouldn't do that. I would sit there and
I
be
would
like,
stew, and I'd
stew.
probably like next time I saw you, be like, oh, there's Pia.
Or
like,
you
you
know,
know?
Yeah, but
where-
she was like, I was thinking about it. I wasn't going to say anything, and then I was going to text you, and then I just thought I'd call you, and I was like, I'm so glad you called me, because if
Yeah.
I opened my phone to like a long message being like,
oh,
I'd be
no.
like, huh? Oh my, like I was just
Yeah.
like, I'm so glad that you can hear my voice.
And the inflections.
Yeah,
and just,
because I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I feel like on text I'd be like, what? I'm so sorry, but you know, I just
Totally.
think
Yeah.
it like, and also totally fine now. I'm like,
wow,
you know,
Good for
very
that
good.
girl.
I know. I was gonna
Shit,
say
man.
she's great at confrontation. I'm
I'm gonna take a note from that.
I
book.
need to
That's-
leave that her book.
And also, it's like immediately, right? Like she called you immediately versus sitting there
Sitting
like,
and stewing
there's
on it,
so much
yeah.
about us, I think, in human interactions, especially as you said. I love that you said around intimidating people. There's so much that we just make up in our heads about the
100%.
situation, and it gets so on this feedback loop that gets insane. And if you could just call them and be like, hey, are we good? Did I do something, etc., it just squashes it immediately. And it allows for you to have a human moment of like,
Yeah.
sorry, I was rushing, and she gets it, and you
Yeah.
guys can move